Okay, it's day 2 of Romford Horror Festival, and it's about time I did one of these Q&As, so here I am. I'm with the filmmakers behind Banshee, one of the short films we've just seen. Can we just start at this end? I know some of you already, but introduce yourselves and your role within the production, please.
Hello, my name's James, and I'm the director of Banshee.
Hi, my name's Louella, and I played one of the sisters.
Hello, my name is Liam, and I was the director of photography.
Hi, my name's James, and I did the score and mix and sound design.
Fantastic, thank you all so much for joining us. James, 2 years ago, you won Best Short for Caretaker. So it's great to see you back with your new film.
Great to be back.
Yeah, welcome. Tell us about how this project kind of came into being and how you start working with these guys.
So this actually started life as a completely different project. There's a couple of films actually was screened through the 666 challenge, which is the 48-hour horror thing. So we did that, but for a sci-fi challenge, 48-hour Sci-Fi London, I think, or whatever it's called. And we made this as part of that challenge as a sci-fi film originally. And then we watched it after it's finished, after we did our 48-hour film challenge and we completed it. Great. And we went, okay, cool, it's not sci-fi. So Liam, bless him, was like, oh, it's fine, just leave it as is. And I'm quite stubborn, and I was like, no, I want to turn this into what it should be, which is a horror. So then I went away and worked with James Wrigley, our wonderful sound mixer down here, he's amazing. And we worked extensively after re-editing it. I got an editor in whose name's Ben, who's based in Bristol, he's brilliant. And we recut it, reworked it into the sort of shape of what maybe felt like an atmospheric horror, which is what we were trying to go for. Very much approaching the ghost angle of it, of her being haunted by the spirit through the plant and through nature, essentially. And then James and I worked extensively on the mix to basically try and build as much as an atmospheric experience. And I'm really happy we were able to see it in the cinema and just get the sort of full kind of length, get the full experience of sort of seeing that, really. So yeah.
Yeah, let's ask each one of you, what's the kind of proudest part from your point of view when you see your film up there? Because obviously all 4 of you got very different roles within the film. You know, from your point of view, what's your favourite kind of part to start in this end?
I mean, it's sort of, I'm really proud of all of it. Me personally though, I would really say that for me the mix was like really cool, the sounds, I think, I'm really proud of all of it and everything that everyone contributed to it. I think everyone did a really good job, to be honest, so yeah.
I personally feel really proud of getting to be here with these guys to watch it. That's always such a highlight, and that's always something fun to be able to do. And similar to what you said, James, like every part of the film I think came together really well. And I just think that the sound and the cinematography and the location just all worked really well to create that atmosphere in the film. So I was just proud to see it all come together, really, especially on a big screen. Yeah.
I think I'm proud of how much we managed to get done, because we shot all that in one day, and that was 3 locations, and we didn't have I think it was 3 locations, we didn't have the story as well on the first day. Like we did have the story, but the way the challenge worked is we were given certain prompts and we only received it a day of filming, basically. So that is why it's kind of a little bit thrown together, because you're kind of figuring out a little bit as you go and you're kind of making the story as you go. So we kind of was like, right, we can fit 3 locations in and we'll just try and build the story around what the locations are. And we were stealing the locations. So we were very much kind of doing as much as we could do with the amount of time that we had. Yeah, I'd say that's what I'd be most proud of.
Well, I mean, our process was pretty extensive with the sound, because we did the first challenge, then we had to tear it all down and then rebuild it all back up again from the ground, really. Having that much control of ADR and Foley and textural elements and breathing and then designing those sounds and putting them in spaces, and it's all outside as well, which gives a pretty thin sound, and then scoring it on top of that and having to balance it all together, you know, make sure anything isn't too harsh, try and fix any clicks, things like that, and like just the level of quality control. Usually I'm just a composer, I just do the music, but it's like, hey, I got a load of microphones, you know, we had the actors coming in and out. Super intense process. I think like our session in the end was like 700 tracks of just little individual sounds, little bits of a dove here and there, a fox calling. But the thing that was really cool hearing it in here was all the detail of it. We did like some crazy panning effects, trying to make it sound like sounds all behind you, lots of panning detail in there, so that was super interesting to hear in such a big room. But yeah, the detail.
Great. Starting with you, Louella, how did you first become involved in this project, and what attracted you to be in the film?
James, maybe do it.
Yeah.
I think that goes to the same for all of us.
He told us to do it. James approached me about taking part in the 48-hour challenge, and I said, that's great, that sounds fun, let's do it. And because I think we said we just wanted to make something, right? And we were like, let's make something, and it seemed like a good opportunity to do it.
It was after the second time we met here. First time we
Yes.
met was at another previous horror festival,
Yes.
and then the second time was actually here 2 years ago.
Yes, so we were here when the Caretaker was on, and I was here for another screening, so we chatted again then, which was great. So it's lovely to be here now with this. What was the question?
What attracted you to play the role?
I wasn't prepared for a Q&A today. Yes, so what attracted me to it was the idea of getting to make a film with James, and then he approached me with the idea of the 48-hour challenge, and I thought, well, I've never made a film like that before. So we had this rough concept, like you said, and I just thought this is going to be so fun just to kind of show up with little preparation and just kind of see what we can get. And that was a challenge that was different for me, so that's what made it fun.
So what was the question?
What attracted you to the project?
Well, I live with James, so I live with James and I have camera gear, so that was pretty much the.
We actually said that it was really funny because we got to a point where we were talking about the project, and then Liam turned around and said, "You know, you haven't actually asked me to be attached. You've just assumed." And I'm going, "Yeah."
I'd say we just kind of made it work, and we were coming up with the story before we were given the prompts of what the story was meant to be.
Apparently not supposed to do
We're
that.
not meant to do, so we might have cheated a little bit in our festival, but then we're kind of shoehorning the prompts into our own story. So editing then became quite a task, because we filmed it all in that day, then we edited it in the evening, I think, and then we went over to yours and started sound mixing it, and I was colour grading it as you were sound mixing it.
Yeah.
And I was asleep.
And then James was asleep.
So you have to do all that post stuff in the same day as well?
So
It was the following day. I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
shot it in the day,
Yeah.
shot it in one day on the Saturday, and then I started editing the following day. We gave ourselves a little bit of rest.
Yeah, you started editing.
And then
first and I
Liam
started
came
editing.
home and I wasn't done, and he got annoyed at me, so he took the edit off my hands because I was editing too slowly. And then he finished it, and then, but basically, Liam's actually the heavyweight. I'm just standing on his shoulders. And then we went to went to Wrigley's, who's only 25 minutes away from us. And then we started doing all of that, and then I fell asleep
Yeah.
because I'm a morning person. And then I woke up fresh faced, like, "Hey guys, let's have a look at it." And I was like, "It looks great, great job." So yeah.
Yeah. But yourself, what attracted you to the project?
They just showed up at my house.
That's the theme here.
Just telling us on my doorstep, like, we're here now.
It's getting worse as it goes down.
Yeah, I think we all had a similar kind of backstory with this, really. And now we're here. But I mean, me and James met like a couple of years previously as well. It was around the time that also Caretaker, we
We
together.
met Rain Dance.
Exactly, Rain Dance Film Festival. And then ever since seeing Caretaker, I was like, man, it'd be great if we did a project together. And then, last year it finally happened. And then, yeah, I think the whole time they were filming, I was waiting. They gave me a schedule. They're like, oh, we'll be around like midday or something. Filming overran as to be predicted, and then they showed up super late, so it turned from like a little afternoon thing to a complete all-nighter.
That was due to a slow editor.
Yeah, that was me. Fair enough.
I was going to ask a question about your kind of inspirations, maybe, but I don't know if that is
Jonathan Glazer's Under the Skin.
right. Okay.
That's the only.
Yeah.
Liam and I watched that beforehand, and we watched that just for me to show Liam because he hadn't. I don't think he'd seen it,
No.
and I was like, "You've got to watch it. It's one of my favourite. Yeah,
Yeah.
great film." And it was like just from a form of like, we have minimal time, so let's look at a way that we can shoot it, where we can capture the story, capture what we need, and then what fits within the sort of aesthetic that I like to capture things in, and that's, I think, really, that's kind of it. Everything else is just what we felt like we could build organically, but like we took a lot from that in terms of like how we shoot, because we knew we were going to go into like a natural environment with woods, and we were like, how can we shoot woods differently to make it look a little bit more haunting, and just looking at that from the way that Glazer captures it is just really, you know, unique. So it was just always going into the environment and thinking about how we could do it just our way uniquely.
Did anyone have an audience question at this point? Pop your hand up. Don't be shy.
I do.
Oh, go on.
Seeing you guys here, Christ, what is that? Seeing you guys here today, you're clearly a well tight-knit team, and you've created a fantastic project for us to watch up on the screen. If you could reboot any classic horror movie using this team with Louella in the lead, with your own style, what would it be?
Nightmare on Elm Street. I think Nightmare on Elm Street is due a reboot. Come on, like it's the one.
Another one? Isn't there like multiple? Isn't there already a Nightmare on Elm Street reboot?
And it's terrible.
Right, it needs a reboot needs a reboot.
We need to. We can bring it back. That's if someone had a gun to my head, they were like, what would you do? I'd do Nightmare on Elm Street 100%.
So
Yep.
next year.
No,
By next year.
that's the dream. That's my dream horror project.
Fast editor.
Yes.
2 days.
Faster
We'll
editor.
do it in 2 days.
Can we quickly talk about the
National Trust thing?
National Trust thing very
Can we
quickly?
talk about that? That's bold of you.
Yeah.
I thought you would never bring this up.
Yeah, no, it's too funny not to. Come on.
They're not here, I don't think.
Yeah, no,
because
the National Trust Police.
We were stealing the locations.
Yeah.
And we kind of snuck into we recce'd it and was like, oh, there's a hedge maze here, we can try
We
and...
bought tickets.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we paid to get in there, we just like snuck all the camera gear into this hedge maze.
No,
And-
we paid.
Not anymore.
No.
James was worried the National Trust Police were going to come in
I-
and arrest us if they found us filming.
I like to try and do everything by the books as I can. It doesn't sound like I do by the, the way everything's talked about. And I was getting really stressed. And then Liam was just like, oh, let's just do it. We found like a fence, a gate that was large enough for us to fit the camera through. And it's like just before you get through to the main entrance. So we snuck it in that way. And then we had our sound recordist Joe like grab it on the other end. It was like Mission Impossible kind of thing. And originally I wanted us to get like an Artem smoke machine in there as well.
I mean, there were families going around this hedge maze. The little kids were walking past us as we were trying to film.
And every time they stopped, it's like, what are you doing? Oh, country farm. Oh yeah, really? And it's like, so yeah. And then
We had enough hands, we all sort of just did little trips through the hole in the fence.
yeah, it was quite something. And then when we wrapped in that location, I was like, guys, get out of it, get out of it, get out of it. And then I was like panicking because I was just stressed about like the idea of like being in a place without
The
permission.
National Trust Police.
And then that's when the National Trust Police came in.
Myself and Aisling, the other actress of the project, we were car sharing to the next location. So we got you into your car and you were sweating and
I was stressed.
see you in a minute. And we were like, all right, James, see you in a minute. And you shut down and you were like, go, go, go. And we were like, all right. And then we were like, should we go to the loo? And oh, look, the gift shop's nice. And then we got in the car and we were getting phone calls from you. And we answered the phone like, hello. And you were like, I thought they got you. I said,
We're being
"Who?"
followed.
The National Trust Police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't fuck with the National
No, they're completely fictional, by the way. They don't exist.
There is no National Trust
There is no National Trust Police, but at the moment I thought we're going
There's
to
just
get
a
like
bunch of
arrested.
old volunteers.
Yeah, it's all volunteers. But it's because we kept having like a guy who was working, they kept craning his neck as we were, but we were pretty quick.
But this isn't to be taken as a filmmaking tip, I don't think.
No.
Probably should have done that, but...
Yeah.
We did.
So your next film needs to be a thriller about the National Trust Police.
I think so.
But what is your next project for each of you?
I am currently so the last time I was here, I was working on a project about a mannequin, and that is still the project which has grown.
It's not moving.
It's moving, but not moving. You know, it's like I'm basically at a point now where I almost have everything I need, bar from the leads, and I just need money, basically, to make it. Which is the tale as old as time.
I guess my next project, really, it's a step away from horror, actually, so I'll tell you about it anyway, but it's actually a play, which I am writing, called Crisis Culture. It has a working title, and it's a dark political comedy. So we have been audience testing it, and now we're going back through rewrites at the moment. So again, I also need some money, so yeah, making independent stuff. Yeah.
Well, I've been paid to do some work. I think I've got boxing on Saturday and some women's football on Sunday. That's my...
That is filming, by the way.
That is filming, yeah.
And I'm currently scoring Golf with Your Friends 2 and a game called Sledding Game, where you're a little frog and go down a mountain. It's on Instagram, it's like viral. So,
Great. Well, this was a fantastic follow-up to Caretaker.
Thank you.
So thank you very much for submitting the film and for you all guys to come in and talk about it. Can I have a round of applause, please? For the